I'll just shortly say why I am into Scala. So
Mm,
first of all, I am a full stack developer before joining into Scala itself. But
mm,
I'm not a product-based ready material. So if you understand, I can able to code, but I can't able to write like a product-based how they are thinking. Like that, I can't able to think or write the code. So I was trying to improve my coding standard to like that. So I searched many websites. So I have
mm,
referred many websites. So one of the website is Scala. So initially I joined in Scala to improve my DSA problem solving skill and my coding standard to the industry standard, like how like a man company people will code. Like that same way I also started to learn. So for that I searched many websites. One of the edtech is like a Scala. So
mm,
initially I started with the DSA. As you know, DSA is very important if you need to crack an interview because 3 or 4 rounds are mainly focused only on the DSA itself. So I was little bit, but I can able to code this time complexity, space complexity, those things and all. I'm not that much aware. So once I'm joining into Scalar, so initially my mentors are so good. So while they were teaching itself, so how we can able to think like how IITians people will think, right? So we can able to differentiate how IITians and other competitors have been thinking. So we can able to understand how others are thinking. In the same way, we also need to think. So their mentors motivated and how the curriculum they have structured, they have started from the scratch. So it is very helpful. Who doesn't know the programming also, they can able to know the programming. I'm good in only one programming language. The curriculum also is made like a generic way. So if you know just one programming language, you can able to crack all the programming problem solving which they have given. So initially I started with that same phase. I started from the intermediate phase. From intermediate phase, I just started the basics of problem solving, some of the techniques, algorithms. So first 6 months I just covered with the DSA itself, so that I can able to master the DSA itself. So
mm,
after that they started with the database and that designs. So
mm,
why database is very important means if we need to store the user credentials, which means user data we need to store. In the same way, we need to retrieve the user's credentials so much fast. So how we need to design the database, how we need to use the proper algorithms, techniques. So those are very helpful. So
mm,
after coming into coding, so I focused on the back-end development because I'm already pretty much in full stack as well as front end. So I just turned into the back-end development using the Java. So I
mm,
can able to learn the machine coding round. So I'm preparing for LLD, like learning the design pattern, which design pattern is suitable for which type of problem solving like that. So
mm,
currently I'm going through the LLD, HLD, so which is combining all together so we can able to come out as a complete developer so that we can able to full concentrate on DSA,
mm,
machine learning, database design as well as architect perspective. So all we are covering in a like a 8 to 12 months of course. So
mm,
this is I'm just getting some after scale. So the first thing is like mentor support. So they were saying about the problem statement, how normally person will think. So that is the basic approach we will come. But
mm,
that is not an optimized solution. How we can able to go to the optimized solution. So they are going step by step, right? So that is helpful because as a basic person who are intermediate level, they can think in one level of perspective. But once they are forcing us to go for the in-depth concepts, why we need that in-depth. So if you are going in that step, how futurely we can able to write a code. So this all the steps they are just decoding one by one. So it is very helpful for me as well. So it is applicable for all my modules like DSA, database design, LLD, as well as current my HLD as well. So the first thing is like a time management. So initially, as a student or as like a working profession, we need to mainly focus on the timing. So instead of learning how much we are practicing is more important. I felt like 20% of like a theoretical, 80% how we are practically implementing. So I started my career in like a I'm a completely morning person. So my classes are always in the morning session. Once my working hours is done, so dedicatedly I will spend 2 to 3 hours for my problem solving skill as well as project development so that I can able to concentrate on my theory perspective as well as my practical perspective as well. So the
mm,
classes are in the alternate days, so which is very helpful. Why? Because today the class is getting completed. We are getting 2 days for practicing all the things, and we will get some doubts over in that between time itself. So TA support also is available in this scale. So I can able to get the TA support as well, so that I can able to clarify all my doubts before my next lecture. So I'm confident in one step, then I'm going to the next step. Like that, it is so what I gave to myself itself, Vijay, you can able to code, but you are not coding like a proper professional coder. So you need to spend maximum time. Once you understand all the basics, then you can able to master the advanced. So simple. So I felt like if the basic is are clear as much possible, so you can able to master the advanced concepts very clearly because basics will take more time to understand. If you are crystal clear in the basics concepts, you can able to master any advanced topic in a simpler way. So
Hmm.
that's why I always focus on basics initially. Yeah, so what's the question others will ask means how I can able to upskill like that. So I can say with one example. So I am also lecturer. So after completing my scalar, I started my freelancing in lecturer as well. Like
Okay.
teaching BSA, the same thing which I have learned in scalar, I sharing my language knowledge with other persons as well. So what I understood from the scalar means, like in our parents' time and all, for example, if you're saying in our parents' time and all, for traveling 5 kilometers, they will think 100 rupees should we need to spend or not like that. Before parents think that money is more important than time. In the current time, if I need to travel for 5 kilometers, if it is 1,000 rupees also, we are just spending. Why? Because time is more important than money. If you need a proper structured career path or something means you need to spend something to get something. Correct, right? So you need to invest your time and money. So that I have. So that's the reason I just enrolled here. So this is the simple example as well. If you are going for gym means if you have some personal trainer, you can get the result as soon as possible. If you
Hmm.
are not having the gym personal trainer, you will get the result, but the time will be little more longer. So the time only concern for me as well. So I need to get the result as soon as possible. If I trained myself, means I can able to achieve that result, but it will take little more time. For example, here I completed everything in 8 to 10 months. If I start to learn without any idea about any things means it will take more time. I will think like twice the time. So to reduce the time, so I need one platform where I can get the complete modules means. So that's the one of the things is Scala. So in Scala, I know where to start, how to start, where to go, next to what I need to learn. So the mentors can able to guide me as well. So that will make my result as soon as possible. So
Hmm.
this is the thing I learned from Scala.